These wheels were supposed to change everything for my G80, but now they're probably just gonna sit in storage, or I'm just gonna sell them. Here's what happened and why I'm probably never gonna end up using them. Sitting in these two boxes here are a custom pair of 826M BMW beadlocks. And if you're wondering what 826Ms are, well, they're these guys right here. Fellas, I would like to introduce you to probably the best OEM wheel ever offered on a BMW, the 826M. Just look at the design, look at the spokes in this, the details. Oh man, this has got to be probably my top 3 wheels of all time. Definitely my #1 BMW wheel of all time. And I love how from the factory they are staggered with 19s in the front and 20s in the rear. So you're probably asking yourself, why did I get custom 826 beadlocks then in chrome? Well, we had a vision, but some things changed. You see, coming from the M340i, and I must say real quick, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. Before this guy right here, we did have a big turbo M340i. It was capable of some pretty good power. And you see, once I sold it and got this guy, I thought we were gonna do the exact same thing. I thought I was gonna hit the gates running and just go for an all-out big horsepower build. Meaning I actually ordered these wheels before I even sold my M340i. That's how dedicated I was to making this guy even more than the M340i could have ever been. But you see, during that process, and after owning this car for a little bit, I realized I'm satisfied. I'm pretty happy. I think with the M340i, I got carried away with big power. Having a massive single turbo car that just, you know, was capable of probably 850, 900 wheel, when I realized that that's not really what I wanted. And what I really wanted was functionality, purpose, a car that's versatile, a car that already offers what I want without really having to build it. But you see, this car has all of that and more, as just with a single stage 2 OTS map. I mean, you're at 700, 750 wheel horsepower, which is just absurd. So that's when I realized beadlocks don't really make sense. I mean, usually to run beadlocks, you need to be well in the 1,000 wheel horsepower territory. I've heard of some guys that are around 850, 900 that are rear wheel drive that were actually spinning at that power. But because this is X-Drive, the beadlocks at this point would pretty much just be for show. And as much as it would be cool to have a pair of beadlocks on this guy, I just really think it doesn't make sense. So without further ado, I think it's time to show you guys what's in the box. Trust me, they still look pretty cool. I mean, I'm debating maybe keeping them, putting them on, but I don't know. I don't think they're for us. Alrighty, fellas, here we go. I introduce to you my custom pair of 826M beadlocks in chrome. Oh. Wait till you guys see this. All right, here we go. Would you look at that? And this is just in the shade. We're just in the shade right now. So this is the front. We went with 19s. They're actually a little bit larger than the OEM size. The OEM size is 19 by 9.5. These are 19 by 10s with an ET12, so 12 plus 12 offset. And then in this guy, I mean, this is where the fun's at. It's time to get our beat on. We have the infamous dun 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 beadlocks in 18s. They are 18 by 11 ET25s, and they would look absolutely insane on this thing. That's why part of me is very tempted, because these guys, especially in the chrome look with the Isle of Man green, I think would be the chef's kiss. It's just, I'm telling you, man, the beadlocks just don't make sense. But I must say, sunlight and chrome wheels, they make sense. Tell me that these guys do not look insane in the sun. Just look at the chrome, look at the pop on them. Yeah, if you guys are not familiar with this kind of style, it's actually ceramic polished. I think they put it in some kind of tumbler, and that way it kind of polishes them. So instead of doing chromium, you're doing kind of like a raw aluminum polish, if that makes sense, which gives it that nice chrome look. But can you just imagine what these guys would look like on there. I just feel like I gotta hang it up. I gotta stop thinking about what it would look like. It just doesn't make sense for me to use these wheels. The more I look at these, the harder it gets because, oh man. I think it's time just to see what they'd look like up against the car. That way we can really get an idea, you know, if I'm never gonna put them on, but you know, we get the visual. And these are fully forged, so look at how light they are. Oh man. The beadlocks are a little bit heavier though, but it's not that bad. There you have it. Look at that, man. The chrome look, or the polished look in the 826Ms with the Isle of Man green would look absolutely insane. Look at that. Oh, I can't keep looking at it like this. I really can't, because guys, come on now. You gotta admit, these look pretty steezy. Honestly, this is making me want to get a custom pair of 826Ms in this finish. Because my oh my, would it absolutely pop. So I did end up going with a company called Fortune Forged. That is why it has that little engraving right there. Pretty nice company, easy to work with, and it just saves a lot. I know a lot of people always say, oh, you can get these overseas, you can get them way cheaper shipped, but they take care of all that, all the hassle, and they gave me a pretty good price on them. I'd much rather just do that, and I know I'm going through kind of a third party in case there's any issues or stuff arises. Overall, I'm pretty happy with them. I mean, just look at that. A little beadlock right there, little hole for the TPMS sensor. Yeah, these are super good quality. Oh man, guys, one last look. Do I keep them? Maybe I keep them. I don't know. I gotta pack them up. My plan was actually to run Nitto NT 555 R2s in the rear. I was gonna do 305, 35, 18s. And then for the fronts, we were just gonna do the same OEM setup, but the only difference is it would be the Nitto G2s in the 275, 35, 19. And the reason you wanna run the G2s up front is so then that way you can actually drive the car in the rain. So inclement weather when it actually gets bad, because it would be horrible to run, you know, 555 R2s on all fours, especially if you live in a place where weather can change. And it's nice to be able to drive it back and forth from the track or the drag strip if, you know, you don't want to have to worry about swapping out wheels or tires. So I think the plan is to stay untuned for now. I do have the 4-inch single mid pipe with the valve controller. Actually, let me show you guys that real quick. So that is pretty much the only performance mods we have done to this guy so far. I'm honestly not planning on doing intakes, downpipes anytime soon. I think my biggest regret with my M340i was just how quickly I did mods. I mean, I was just slapping stuff on there left and right. With this guy though, I want to savor it a little bit more. So that's why too, it just doesn't make sense for me to have these beadlocks, just because we're honestly gonna be keeping this guy stock tuned for a very long time. And I enjoy it at that power. With the single mid pipe and valve controller, it still feels plenty quick. I believe this car is probably a little over 500 wheel with those upgrades. And that's why we're also gonna put on the dyno, because I'm curious what it's gonna make, you know, with those upgrades. And I like the fact that I have a factory warranty. I almost flashed XHP out of a whim, just because, you know, stage 3 does seem kind of enticing. I want to have those, you know, whip style shifts, ignition cut shifting. It sounds almost like a DCT or GT3 like, but I held myself back pretty good and we didn't end up doing it. So we're just gonna keep it how it is right now, and I'm gonna keep restricting myself, because I know once I start doing downpipes or intake and all that stuff, I mean, oh, it's game over. So that's why I gotta get these guys out of here. I gotta put them down in the dungeon, because I cannot be enticed. Let me know if you would be rocking the beadlocks on this guy, or what color combo you'd rock, because I think the 826Ms are perfect for this guy. It's very OEM plus, but I'm curious to hear if you think that I should hold on to them and use them just for an aesthetic, or if I should just go all out and go big power, which even if you probably comment that, it's not gonna change anything, because I'm probably not gonna do that. But I'm curious just to see what you would do if you were in my position. So fellas, thanks again for tuning in. Like I said, we got a lot of more fun stuff coming. Maybe not beadlock fun, but trust me, we got some fun stuff. Make sure you guys don't forget to like or subscribe, especially if you don't want to miss out on this journey, because who knows what the next mod's gonna be. Once again, thank you for the support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Much love.